Well, g'day, Max here again. Welcome back to the shop. So we are embarking on a little side project which we'll be doing at the same time as our Dean Smith and Grace lathe, and it's our JUNG surface grinder. So what I plan to do is try my best to spend 1 day a week just to keep this machine or make a start on it and just keep it ticking forward, as I do not want to get caught out with my pants around my ankles if I need to do any surface grinding for the repair works that we have in progress at the moment, you know, on the DSG or whatever. So yeah, I'll commit 1 day a week to it if I can, and hopefully we'll get through it. So throughout some of this, we'll just have the big casto running in the background, cutting up some material for some feet. I'm not sure of the grade of this piece of scraptonium that I'm going to use. However, it is 30 HRC when I did a hardness test on it, so it may or may not be 4140. So I've cleared out a bit of a working area here, as these two main parts we're taking off are going to take up a fair bit of room. So and it'll enable us to get our gantry hoist, you know, over the machine so we can do some lifting. So I'll just give you a bit of a quick overview of the machine. The model, it's a JUNG HF50 surface grinding machine made in Germany. Now, I picked this up from a machine dealer here in Australia over in Melbourne, which is across the other side of the country. They don't, like machines over here in Perth, Western Australia, generally used machines when they come up for sale, they're either in good nick and priced through the roof, or they're completely knackered, been around the world 3 times, and I took a gamble with this, buying it sight unseen from 4,000 kilometres away. Oh, actually 3,500 kilometres away or something. And we'll just see what we get. You know, you can ask for extra photos and that. So the machine did come with a fault that I was made aware of, and that is regarding the table traverse does not work, and they couldn't figure it out. So whether it's a hydraulic or electric, yet to be determined. The machine came with has a diaform wheel profiler, you know, if you want to profile curves or whatever into your grinding wheel. It is missing a couple of components of that, namely the dressing part of it, where your diamond nib goes. It's a weighty little piece of gear too. Probably weighs the same as about 1.5 Bridgeport milling machines. Yeah, it's a very awkward thing to move around, just the weight. There's a lot of weight here at the back of the column. So, and this is going to be the machine's final location, tucked in the corner here, out of the way, as it's, you know, not a machine that's going to get a great deal of use, but, you know, when you need it, you need it. So, I'll bring you around the front. This is its coolant tank, pump, and filtration system. So it has a bit of a weird conveyor belt system inside with a filter. Made by Philips. So the mag chuck, it's 500 millimeters by 200 millimeters. We will have to do some work on it, as she's a bit on the tight side. We need to free that up. It has provision set up in the machine for an electromagnetic chuck, which we won't, we'll just stick with this. And I think the table travel is, it's either 550 or 600 millimeters of traverse that way. Yeah, saddle it's in the realm of 200 or 250 millimeters that way, and the up and down I'm not sure on yet. So it'll give me, you know, quite a good capacity for my shop here. So still an original paint. The paintwork's still in reasonable condition, so hopefully a good clean will bring it all up. The electrical side of it, yes, is quite involved. Well, I'd say extremely involved. So that's its main cabinet there, which is, there's a lot going on in there. The spindle motor is DC and is driven by this cabinet once it's plugged in. So down the bottom there's an AC motor powering a DC generator, and your variable speed controls here depending on what diameter grinding wheel you have, whether it's a 6-inch, 6 or an 8-inch, 8 or a 9-inch. And yeah, you can vary the speed to the appropriate level of what you're grinding. There's a lot of little minor repairs to do, like unseize this fine adjust knob. The bellows for the column is knackered completely. So each division on the cross feed is 1/1000th of an inch and 10,000th divisions on the fine down feed for the wheel. Manual clicker there, or if you want to get there in a hurry, the electric rapid up and down will get you there. All its original lube pump, everything there. Plugs there if you're running electromagnetic chucks. I assume that's what these are. That's, yeah, I don't know what that one is. That's its tag, yeah, HF50RD. Here we go again. Remaining plugs for other things. Coolant, that one. Not sure about that one. Light, main switch. There is a knob missing here, and I can only guess it's something to do with the electromagnetic chuck if you're running it. It might be like a variator for how much magnetic pull it's giving. So yeah, it's in reasonable condition looking at it. The machine started life ex-government here in Australia. That'll be its government tag. So the Commonwealth Department of Supply, I'm pretty sure was active. I think I just had a quick look on the computer, but by the time I looked and come back here, I've forgotten. I think they were around between the 1950s up until 1974. Yeah, so that's the spiel on the Department of Supply. So they shut down in 1974 and it went somewhere else. So yeah, there's a bit of a spiel on them in Wikipedia. Yeah, 1950 to 1974. So looking at the machine, it does sort of have that late 1960s, you know, early 1970s look and shape about it, you know, regards to the curves and squareness and things like that. So hopefully, being from the government, it's done bugger all work. Alright. Okay, so I'll get this mag chuck unbolted, get the wing keel off either end, and get it slung up and bring you back for the lifting action. Got the old Casto running in the background, just cutting some feet for the surface grinder. And she's running on a slow speed because that well, so far so good under here. No hidden surprises. Everything's good. Traverse rod. At least it moves, but it should be full of oil. I should not be able to do it that easy. So it may be part of the hydraulic fault. Not sure what the go is here. A couple of loose O-rings. Something dodgy there. Someone's coiled up a large O-ring over that. Same with the other side down here. So what the meaning of that is, I don't know. Looks like it probably goes into an oil gallery, but yeah, we shall see. Possibly an oil gallery, and something going on here too. One for further investigation. So I'll just slip the same covers off this end too and see what is revealed. Okay, so things are looking rather tasty under here. No real issues cited so far. So yeah, off with the mag chuck next. Ooh, no way they should be that tight. I don't like moving the table like that yet, but I didn't want all this grinding stuff to drop down on that rod support. Yeah, these should only be nipped down. I think one end slightly tighter than the other, so things can move if they need to rather than bow. A little bit looser, but still tighter than what it should be. Okay, at least we can lift our chuck off now. Just looking in the sight glass for the oil reservoir, nothing showing on the glass, so machine may have a leak. Well, I don't think that's been off for quite some time. Hopefully, yeah, we haven't got too much pitting damage under there. At least the end bit's good. So yeah, that'll give a bit of a bow, I would imagine, as well. You know, see the ends are shiny where they've been clamped down. Don't over tighten your mag chucks. Nipped at one end and nipped a bit less at the other. So just a preliminary clean on the top of the table. I just scraped the worst off, you know, just gently. Just went over it with kerosene and like a wire, a soft wire toothbrush. Will give this a bit of attention when we clean everything up, but we won't be using any abrasives on it. It'll just be like chemical. And we don't need to get it perfect. We don't want to go overboard on it because we don't want to lose what precision is in the top of this that is left, you know. So something we treat very delicately. And while we've still got it on, I wanted to just do a backlash check on the hand wheel rack. So I can look at the backlash we have here, and I can move the table down past where it would normally run. Exactly the same. Exactly the same, so from its working area to off its working area. Beautiful. And I give the ways a wipe down before I started sliding this, and got some CRC under there, and they are actually looking quite good. So all right, let's hook this table off. Right, let's have a close-up and see what we're dealing with here. So generally not too shabby for the machine's age. Like, I don't know the machine's history after it left the government service. I don't know what industry and how much use this thing's had, but it's had a fair bit of use. Let's have a close-up of the slideways. So the outer slideways, we'll go nothing serious going on that side of the V. So we'll go to the other side of the V. Same slideway. So there are spots, you can still see the original factory grinding. Still see it there. More prominent on this edge, you know, on this outer way. So we'll look at the inner one now. So you can't see it well, a little bit on the top you can sort of, oh well, I can just see it, probably won't come up on the camera, but no issues here. So we'll look at the other side. You know, it's all quite reasonable. What's that there? Hopefully that's just, yeah, it's just crap. So quite reasonable. And yeah, it's even under the table. It's quite tidy under there. So yeah, I'm quite relieved at that. So these slideways under the table, we've still got the original flaking there, fades out in the middle somewhat and comes back towards the end. This is the outer way. I don't know how well we'll get down. You know, you can vaguely just see it. The original flaking, what's left of it. So we'll go to the inner way. You can see it has worn off there. We're right at the bottom of it, you know, down here. And same with the other side. But at least it's even all the way across, you know. So I can barely feel that with my finger. Yeah. Yeah, I can barely perceptible, so that's really good. One thing I did, you can see, with regards to this slideway here, how the flaking is more prominent on the ends, and there appears to be more wear in the center. I'm wondering if that's due to like over tensioning of the magnetic chuck, you know, causing that there. It's possible, so yeah. And of course that rust and crap build up between the chuck and the other side of the table. Well, that's not going to help matters either. Rust will soon flex a bit of iron. I'll get a close-up of this, but this shows the correct, proper way to tackle an oil slot with regards to... Oh, I'll get a pointer. See how they're radiused on the edges rather than a square edge? You don't want a square edge on an oil groove because it will scrape the oil off. This radius, this lead-in edge, allows the oil to be dragged up along with the table. So yeah, if you're doing oil grooves or oil slots, you want to have them quite well radiused, you know, so it can drag the oil along. So if we look at the rack, we'll just come up to the end. So that's an unworn tooth. We'll head down to the middle. So we're right in the middle of the rack. There's an area probably 10-12 inches long. You can just see that damage on the corners of the tooth. Now that's where the hand wheel slides in to manually operate the rack. When it's in its auto feed, yeah, the hand wheel slips out. So yeah, that's just a bit of damage on the tooth from the hand wheel being slammed in. So nothing to do there. You can see the flame hardening on it. Yes, so overall I'm extremely happy with what I'm seeing so far. So the next stage is to remove the saddle, and it looks to be quite involved, so I don't know what mysteries the German engineers have put in store for me there. Okay, we'll bring you back when we're into that. So we're pretty well ready to remove the saddle so I can get access to the underside and check the oiling system and give everything under there a good clean. I just had a bit of a interesting observation, and we've worked out that this is the reservoir for the lube oil for the slideways. So we still have to investigate what the one-shot pump does, whether that's just for the column. We're not sure yet, so we'll delve into that. But this has quite an interesting mechanical pump to operate it. And I sort of tumbled onto that when I was looking at... I was going to remove this whole cylinder assembly just to get it out of the way and just so the rods don't get, you know, whacked and damaged. I'm not actually going to go that way. We'll get back to that in a sec. But I was looking at this linkage down the side here. Goes to a rod and comes up into there to an oil pump. So that's driven by that gear down there. And that's, yeah, runs on the table rack. So that gear, when I run it that way, nothing happens. If I go the other way, it's operating the pump. So it's got a sprag clutch of some description on that gear. And that's all like right inside. I'll get a torch. It's all right inside that little housing somehow. I mean, there's not much there, but the old German engineers at it again. Yeah, so it would have meant trying to get this pin out to release the rod, so all of that mechanism here can come with it. Now, that would mean that pin does not come straight out. There's no room, so this block underneath would have to come with it, be released. However, I'm not going that way because these oil lines go into it, and I do not want to disturb them, because sometimes you disturb them and they're a real faff to get back right. So the work I need to do on this cylinder I can access from while it's still in place, just being the seals. Like that's a circlip that's not even in its groove properly. So it's just a matter, it should just be a matter of taking that housing off and replacing the seal. Same with the other end. And that's it there on the other end, so it's the same sort of setup. So right down underneath where my torch is shining, there's two cap screws. They've got to come out, and then the table can be lifted clear of the feed screw and its nut. So yeah, that's its nut down there. I'll just bring up an interesting point regarding surface grinders. I was on the phone to a guy I know over in the States the other day, and he brought up a very good point. So regarding the lubrication of the slides, and as we've just seen in this one, it's the table that operates the oil pump to lubricate your slideways. Well, he brought up, because he's scraped in grinders before, and he says he's seen them with a lot of galling, and that's been caused by if you got a work head on your table and your table doesn't move that much, therefore it's not getting the correct amount of oil pumped under it, you know, especially if the work head is permanently on there, you know. So that's just something to bear in mind. Your table's got to do a fair bit of stroking or travel backwards and forwards to get that the required amount of lubrication in there. Just a thought, you know, to bear in the back of your mind if you run a work head permanently on your grinder. So the crossfeed nut underneath there is now free. In the process, we discovered, let's alter the light, there is a lock bar, small square bar runs underneath there, and it goes to this round thing here, which is a locking mechanism for the saddle. So we didn't know what this lever was for, and that's it, it operates that lock. You can hear it click the first stage, which is a switch which would disconnect the electrics for the crossfeed, and then it locks the table or the saddle in position. So that would be, I assume, for when you're doing side wheeling or some similar operations like that, so your table can't move a little bit. So yeah, now we know what that lever does. So that's pretty well everything mechanical wires disconnected, so we're ready to sling it up and lift her off. We've just got this wire here to unplug. So at least everything in its control cabinet is very tidy. It hasn't really been messed with, other than this breaker here is running a dual 240 volt outlet over there. It's all pretty original, all this. Actung. Yeah, I don't know if that refers to a date. 1168. All right. So we're all slung up, ready for some form of liftoff. I've got my little come along just to keep things level on the front half, and yeah, just the sling wrapped around for the rear. So I'll see you in the cradle, and we'll give it a tug and see what happens. So when we get it lifted off and clear, we'll sit it on this bench. And yeah, this has been worth its weight in gold since I built this. So this is the bench we built the Casto on. And also the other day I had this horizontal borer rear tool support and tailstock on there. I'm just cleaning this up at the moment. Actually, the reason why this got moved up the queue, because being a tailstock support, it won't really have any wear on it, and it doesn't. That's the base of it over there. It's off a large Jurasti horizontal borer, and I needed to clean that up because I needed to get another verification of the condition of the underside of this big cast iron box that I'm using as a straight edge. So that gave me a good indication. This box is actually off a Dean Smith & Grace Type 17. It's off part of the tracer attachment. It's sitting upside down at the moment. But yeah, upside down makes a good straight edge because I don't have a camelback. It would normally mount at the rear of the way where your templates would go for the hydraulic tracer. But yeah, no, it is rather straight. I think within half a thou anyway. But that being said, I would still rather do another verification on it with a proper camel back straight edge of known straightness. But I think I know someone not too far away from here that has one and is willing to lend it to me to check this. So I'll just take a bit of weight and just see how this thing is balanced or not. Okay, so we got the weight and we are very heavy on that far right hand corner. So I'll set up another small come along to take care of that. Yeah, so this corner here where the oil reservoir is rather heavy. Yeah, I wasn't sure how it was going to hang, but you know, we've got a fair bit of weight over the opposite corner as well, so we'll set up the little come along and just it'll just help this corner. That should do it. It's just to assist with the balancing. It's not really taking much weight at all. Another come along. Yeah, it's just to help balance it. Okay, very gently, we'll just take a bit of weight again. We've got a bit too much weight at the front, so I'll just slacken off this come along. Seem to have quite good balance on it there. Check underneath of the torch. Looking good. Okay, let's go up. Okay, before I set this down, I just needed to have a quick look at the condition of the slideways, and all is very good. I can still see the original grinding marks in all of the slideways, so there's no wear at all, hardly, nothing of any importance or concern. Sorry, you can't see it, but I just can't get the right angle of the dangle. We'll see when we've got it all cleaned up. But yeah, very happy to see that. Yeah, the original grinding marks. And yeah, something very similar on this axis as well. No wear at all. Bit funky down there, but that'll clean up. Still got all the original grinding marks. Same with the other side. It's like a watermark or something. Original grinding marks are still present there. Yeah, so I need to clean all this gunge out of here before that can go back on. That's its nut. Not sure what that screw is, whether it's some sort of adjustment or something to do with the lock for the bellows. Okay. Alright, I've got a bit of cleaning ahead of me now, so I'll get the main frame, or at least this area, all cleaned up. And got a bit of cleaning to do on here, a bit of poking around there. Probably next episode we'll be working on that and hopefully get that reinstated on here, all going well. As far as the column goes, there's evidence of a bit of light gnarliness, or more rust than anything, just very light surface rust. So that's going to have to be addressed, and the way we access that is keepers and adjusters at the rear, all behind the electrical cabinet. So what we're going to do is keep that totally separate. We'll deal with that on its lonesome, and we're going to concentrate just on the saddle and the table at this stage. And once that's back together, we can work out what we're going to do here. All right, we'll bring this one to a close here. I am very happy with what I'm seeing so far, especially in the main areas, all in quite reasonable condition. I mean, if these ways were damaged, knackered, yeah, I'd have to do some serious head scratching. It's probably a bit above my pay grade at this stage to start scraping in double V-ways that have to be extremely precise. You know, on a lathe you got a little bit of leeway, but on a surface grinder you don't have really any leeway. But thank God we don't have to go down that path. So just a simple bit of maintenance, bit of a clean up, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we don't run into anything serious. Hopefully the spindle bearings are okay. Don't know, we'll do some further investigation there. That's probably quite an expensive exercise to do spindle bearings on this machine, I would imagine. Anyway, it's working out. Yeah, 1 day a week on this. At least we're making a start on it. So, and it gives me a break from scraping on the Dean Smith and Grace, which is our main priority at this stage. So Anyway, cheers, thanks for watching, and yeah, hopefully catch you in the next video, which will be, well, we'll be back on the DSG, and probably another couple of weeks time we'll have another video out on this machine here. Cheers.